Welcome. This is Joshua Benoist in Autodesk Product Support. So this is video 1 where we're going to talk about how to migrate Mvpart catalogs from an earlier version, we'll use 2008, to a later version, 2009 or 2010. So here's the problem statement from the customer. Pause the video if you want to read that, and let's move on. So here we have AutoCAD MEP 2008. So Mvpart catalogs are different than tool palettes and tool catalogs. We've got Content Browser, which does tool palette tools, handles styles and a bunch of other things. Mvpart catalogs and fitting catalogs, those are entirely different. You can make tools from them, but catalogs themselves are something else. I wish we had better terms for that. So let's talk about those catalogs. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to show you where those catalogs exist on your computer. In earlier versions prior to 2010, earlier versions stored things down documents and settings. In 2010, we now store them in program data. The reason we now store them in program data is because Windows XP is soon going to not be, eventually not going to not be supported by Microsoft anymore. Vista and Windows 7, in order to be certified by Microsoft, they like certain things stored in certain locations in their operating system. This is the new standard location for program data type things like content. So this is where we put it now. Let's look in the old location where the 2008 stuff is. So it would be in Documents and Settings, All Users, Application Data, Program Data, Autodesk, AutoCAD MEP 2008, ENU for English, US Imperial, and in here we've got Mvparts, and then we've got like pipe fittings and duct fittings and conduit and cable tray. So these are the catalogs here that we're really referring to. So let's say you've made some custom multi-view parts. So this is all the out-of-the-box default stuff. This is the catalog where those parts are stored, only in the sense that this is like the library cue cards. This is the this is an XML file. I know it says APC. You could rename that to XML. It's the same thing. But inside this file here, it's going to have kind of a library of all the parts in index. Now, the parts themselves are under here. So let's go look at something like an air terminal. Get a diffuser. Now, right off the bat, I want you to notice that every Mvpart is made of 3 file types. There's a bitmap, an XML, and a DWG file. Now, when we get to fittings, these are Mvparts. When we get to fittings, there may not be a DWG or bitmap. It may just be an XML by itself. So let's go look at that. Let's go pick on like a pipe, and you'll see that these are the DWGs where the part was originally created, but really all that, for instance, placeholders, is just XML stuff. So some of these others do have both bitmaps, drawings, and XMLs. So in the fittings, it's kind of hit or miss whether you get all 3 or just the XML. Rarely do you have the DWGs by themselves. So if you see DWG here, and that's all it contains, these are just the original files used to create the fittings.